people to join in. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in. My name is Neha Bhatia. I'm Marketing Head, Orbit Techsol. So, I'll just quickly introduce our speakers to you. We have our Chief Strategy Officer, Mr. Amit Gupta, with us, and our Chief AI Officer, Mr. Avinash Arora. So, over to you, Amit. If you can just take it over now. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi. Thanks, Neha. Good evening and namaste, everyone. Thank you for being with us. So instead of slides, let me give a quick overview of Orbit and what we do. We started our business journey around 3 decades back. When we started with the end user devices. When the market transformed, we again transformed. We manage all the 7 layers of the OSI, which is starts from physical until application, and every layer is bundled with our own services. That's how we position ourselves as a true system integrator in the market. But when the next wave of the transformation came in, again we transformed. On the platform 3 side, we manage even the multi-tenancy kind of environment, which is mixed with complex migration. That's how we manage the cloud need of the clients. On the second side, on the cyber security, we manage all the 4 pillars, which is your IAM, network security, cloud security, and application security. Plus, we also have our own SOC services. That's how anything and everything for the cyber security is being managed. We also have AI practice. So on the AI side, I can say we are living in an era where artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept. It's a present day advantage. It's already transforming the way we work, interact, and make decisions. Now the question comes is who we are. Now, I can say we design, develop, deploy our own AI solutions which can manage the environment of the customers. Where we fit in, we help the customers to identify high use impact of the cases. We manage the roadmap which starts from POC till the full scale deployment. And we ensure that the security compliance and scalability is managed. Now, when I'm saying so AI is not just a technology, it's a transformation. It's not about replacing the systems, but it's all about making the systems smarter. And that's what I call AI. Use cases might differ customer to customer because every environment is a unique environment. Some of the customer might be focusing on automation and productivity, ITSM, email security. There might be so many, and some customers might be putting stress on the security and compliances, some on knowledge and decision making, some on customer facing applications. So it can differ as per the organization and the need which is there for the automation. So we act as a consultant. We understand the journey. We try to grab the information as much we can so that we can help with the blueprint of what the automation is required in which environment. Now, let me introduce Mr. Avinash Arora. Mr. Avinash ji is the Chief AI Officer in Orbit. Now, I'm handing over this session to Avinash ji. Avinash ji, you are on mute.
Hi everyone, very good afternoon. Just wanted to acknowledge if you can hear me well. Hello.
Yes, we
Yes, you
can.
are audible.
Yes,
Yes.
very
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Okay. Thank you very much and a very good afternoon. It's a privilege to speak about one of the transformative forces of our time, which is artificial intelligence. And I'm pretty sure all of you might be aware of it. It's no longer a futuristic concept, but it is something already reshaping how business operate and compete and grow now. And why we are talking about now, why AI and why now, that is more important. See, the idea here is that why it has become now and prime importance is because every minute we create millions of data. Either it is from our email or to transactions or social media, wherever we are present, we are actually generating sort of data points. And how we can make this data point more meaningful for our advantage, it makes sense, and hence AI gives us this power. With the cloud computing and the on-premise uh, compute going on, it is important that we have that now the wherewithal of infrastructure where we can leverage these capabilities and build certain AI models or inferencing models which can help us to grow our business and to share our experience with our customers, both sides, either is our customers or our suppliers or our internal stakeholders. So there are now algorithmic advancement have been made in machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and that is making AI more and more smarter. So it's very important that we now understand what this AI can give as a business. So let me share my screen first, which will make much more sense what I want to talk about today in the space of AI. So So one of the foremost step we think when we think of AI is how we can build an AI factory which will help. Oh my God. Can you see this? Okay. So you might have heard that there are now cloud computing and on-premises, but a little bit I will touch about how you can really build a AI factory for your business. And it is very important that you build a factory than using a hybrid kind of an environment. Before that, let me just share with you quickly a latest IDC reading in April 2025, where it says that AI global impact, economic impact is going to be $22.3 trillion. And that's in fact is being now sensed. And I see that how companies are actually bringing in that value addition in their business. So from how do you go to this vision? This is very important and a very, very brief, a small slide here. What are the barriers in achieving in AI at a scale? The first thing comes scale. How do you grow your computational demand? Because the data is exploding in volumes, so it is very important to have that kind of a scalability of your compute needs. Now you can go to cloud or you can build an on-prem. The advantage of having on-prem will be that a day will come where you will build your own chat GPT within the premises because it will understand your data, what you are generating from your ERP and your components, other systems or legacy systems. And the data is something very, very important. So it should make sense for you as a business that your computational demands and needs are being met, and whatever you are generating out of this AI, it makes sense. So important point is that the first barrier is to understand whether I have a computational power in my company or not, or I have to go to the cloud and take that compute power. Then comes the complexity. See, it's not very simple and easy to talk about, it's simply to talk about AI, but when you take to go and implement AI, it requires a specialized expertise and definitely certain understanding of these complexities, whether we talk about machine learning, whether we talk about LLM model, whether we talk about inferencing, all these complexity need to be understand. And if you do not understand, your ROI will be definitely slower. You will achieve the ROI, but not with that speed which it is expected when you go for an AI implementation. Next comes the cost part of it. When you think of inferencing at a massive scale, you need to have a cost element considered. The one way is to go into cloud or you have an on-prem solution. On cloud, you will find that if you are using certain libraries which are being downloaded from cloud and you are computing that, the cost control becomes a big challenge compared to if you have your own private cloud or you have an on-prem solution. So that is one barrier. Another becomes data sovereignty and privacy. Whatever we may talk about, for any business, it's the prime importance that the data is within the sovereignty of your own premises and you are able to control. And then whatever intellectual property you are building and whatever your key offerings are there, it remains with you. Let's say if I talk about a manufacturing organization, it's very important that how you really design your product, what is your product features, and how you are finally offering it. All that intelligence must remain within the premises and it should be controlled who all can access. Beside that, it is very important that when we are in business, we must ensure regulatory compliance. So one of the best part which AI can be used, and I will show you a couple of use cases where AI has been very, very effective in uh, addressing the regulatory compliances. Of course, risk, any new initiative which you take, there are certain risks, there are IP leakages. You must have a AI governance model deployed. And I think few of the slides will talk to you about how we can build this AI governance. So having said that, these are the basic five, I would say, very critical aspects when you think of building an AI factory or starting your AI journey. When we talk about building an AI factory, it provides a pathways of AI success. Now, what is AI today? Lot of you might have encountered there are failures. You might have taken up some examples. There are high failure rates now because we are scattered across silos and teams. In organizations, we have silos. We do little bit small pieces of AI implementation, and then it is not spread out. And the moment you want to scale, it becomes a little failure because we might have missed certain points which are pertinent to build up an AI ecosystem in the company. Then one has to also think about what is the operational scale you are looking for and how your modeling is not a fragmented but an agremented, integrated kind of a thing. Now, once you have considered these are the basic inputs for building a AI factory. It must be measurable and predictable, must have some kind of a centralized workflows and reusable assets, primarily because you are looking for speed and predictability of a deployment. And when you deploy into your business, you're also looking for some kind of a predictivity. And without going any further, a unified environment is must. So when you have considered all that, you will find the outcomes in terms of faster time of AI ROI, repeatable AI success, because once you have developed a success, you can replicate it in other area because your processes, your workflow applications, your understanding about business is quite matured, and you will know what kind of a modeling you have developed within the organization, whether it can be replicable or not. So it becomes a big success story in building it fast spread of your AI processes in other areas. Just to reshape and recapture, so what you have to do to start an AI factory is one is the foundation model. Once you build that foundation model, that what you are looking for out of it, whether it is a data modeling, whether it is a process modeling, whether it is a design modeling, once you decide that, You have to also see that how much data you have to build and support that model and what are the tools you want to use. All that can be put into the AI factory for inferencing because you have now a server which is capable of a very high compute. You can carry out a customized inferencing, develop a customized model, see how it is working, and once the prototype is built, you apply the new data, automatically it will get fine-tuned and the machine learning process will give you the desired result. This is the way how you can rebuild a factory which can shape the future of AI, what you are thinking. This is what I was talking about, a complete infrastructure. And let me tell you about out of this infrastructure, this is something a very pertinent and very critical aspect of building an infrastructure. You must have the infrastructure which will support compute, which will support storage, networking, power and cooling. Once that infrastructure is there, you already have the data, whether it is stemming out from your ERPs or whether it is coming out from your solos. You have built the models what you need. You do a data ingestion, train the model with the workload, fine tune the model and draw the inferencing and monitoring, and then you can really are ready to build up your AI platform, which can be scaled, which can have some prediction models, which can be trained models, decision analytics, and of course, you can have tokens built, you can have applications. I think this is what I talked about, how you can build your AI factory first. But one thing more important is going to be, which I am going to discuss today, is the use cases which will you will align why I'm talking about to have a readiness about this infrastructure. So finally, I talked about data sovereignty and security, governance, flexibility and control, and how you can build a performance at scale. So let me just share with you now a talk why we are talking about the Gen AI is such a big deal. You might have heard all three big knowns as Gartner, McKinsey, and Deloitte. Gartner has already predicted that AI augmentation will create 6.2 billion hours of workers' productivity. When I say productivity means what today people are doing, it can be done with a very rapid deployment of AI algorithms, machine learning, and a human. If the activity is being done by 10 humans, now you can have one small agentic AI or a digital worker which can perform the same task with a much better speed. And that is why we are talking about hours of productivity. McKinsey has mentioned that according to McKinsey, the generative AI is in increase the corporate profits by $4.4 trillion. We are not talking about now the turnover, but we are talking about the straight impact of profitability. And of course, Deloitte is also in the same line. So having said that, let me tell you how you should think about how you can put AI practice in your organization. Today, I am pretty sure most of you have a tactical or incremental of some analytics already there, which are in siloed. So from efficiency gains to labor intensive tasks, which you might now be thinking, but this is not an AI which will help you to scale. So you have to think something very big, something which is more innovative. And so from silos to you have to go to enterprise wide. Ultimately, you have to build an AI which is sort of a resilience, resolves workforce challenges, and how the process value can be drawn out of it. How you can be faster into market, how you can increase your productivity, improves your visibility, though you may have an ERP system, but you have to build up a fabric where you can draw this data, draw these capsules of information so that you can deliver it faster to the key stakeholders who can act on it. So this is one which I am sharing with you, which has been actually shared by Forrester, and which says that companies can now achieve 5x instead of 1 or 2x. So what should be your strategy? From silos to enterprise-wide, challenge every process of automation which you have, build intelligent AI engine, the state-of-the-art tool, and see what impact it brings. And it is possible. That is why I say that it is art of possible, no more a technology. It's understanding the art, where you want to go, how you want to go, and how you want to build your AI journey. Though we started from robotic process automation, now here is the slide which is not limited to BFSI, healthcare, retail, manufacturing, but how the journey has been. You might have been aware with robotic process automation. Then from RPS, we have moved ahead to intelligent automation. From intelligent automation, we have gone to machine learning and now AI, Gen AI, and agentic AI. If you look at it, we started, if I take BFSE, when we were in RPA, we were doing MIS report, dashboard, compliance. From there, we have graduated now to getting into credit agreements, credit reviews, verifying of security details, fraud detection. All that can happen using AI algorithms, machine learning, understanding the trends, what are the susceptibility in either it is a fraud transaction or it is a transaction which is probably need to be weeded out from the system. So all those activities now can be planned through AI and Gen AI. I hope I am not going very fast because time was a little constrained. So if you look at whether it is a healthcare, BFSI, retail, manufacturing, everywhere, you have something to pick up, something to automate, and then integrate complete company-wide, how you can bring value to it. So what I'm talking about is actually you have the employees today. Wherever you do not have employees, what you do is you take out employees, some contractual employees or a competency in your organization. Today, what I'm talking about, a fourth option, which is nothing but agentic AI or a digital workforce. When you employ this and empower and train that, you will find that you can do much better, you can do together and much more than what an individual person can handle it. So this is the advantage of using AI and how the fourth option can work on it. This is, I'll now switch on to some of the examples of where all you can apply a AI and the hotspot of automation on the world-class manufacturing. I'm not very sure who are the manufacturing audience can appreciate that we are now talking about Industry 4.0. It's already a given. People are now graduating towards Industry 4.0. And Industry 4.0 is actually aiming to build a world-class manufacturing organization within your company, whoever into organization. Let me tell you a few of the examples where you can really do a very quick gain by using either IoT sensors or human machine in data interfaces, applying machine learning, deep learning, model inferencing, and kind of a data analytics facilitate you to monitor the real performance of your assets. So let me start with one example of predictive maintenance. Today we have breakdown maintenance, we have maintenance scheduling, but we now need to move on to predictive maintenance. How we can say potentially there could be a failure if I'm using a machine and how I can timely schedule that maintenance before the breakdown happens. Now this is something, there is a concept now where we had been using earlier called LOTO, lockout, tagout. I don't know how many of the organizations in manufacturing are using this concept. Before an asset is put for scheduling of maintenance, you have to lock out so that the safety, security, and the operator safety is also very important. The safety of the tools and other implements are also important. So you must tag out, lock it out, and then put for maintenance. All these things can now be controlled very easily if you apply a complete AI model into it, which will actually collect data from sensors. The AI models will analyze the pattern of what had been the failures and how many hours this machine has been used, how many tools have been used, whether they have been to be removed now. The early warnings can be even sensed of the wear and tear. And based on the algorithm which you write, it can then predict whether the component is likely to fail or the machining is going to fail. Now, these are something which is very, very prime important in a manufacturing segment. And to start with, when you get into a machine, a world-class manufacturing, it is important your installations, your machine, your equipments are absolutely maintained well. Potentially, people can sense when to unplug and when to plug. So what it gives you an early detection of so that there is a fewer production halts, there are lower maintenance costs, you can extend the equipment of life. What is more important is that though there could be a production life cycle of that equipment, but how with a timely maintenance you can extend the lifespan of your asset, improved safety, and of course data-driven decision. There are no biases here when you carry out these kind of failures or preempt the failures based on data. And data gives you a much, much smarter way of maintaining the things. Now, besides that, there are other hotspots when you talk about quality inspection and defect detection. Using a computer vision model, you can inspect products on assembly line. Now, there are models now, the real-time video analytics. I'm pretty sure you will have some cameras. Now these cameras can be put to use the quality process, how the product or a model is being built on your assembly line, and which are the important critical points which need to be actually inspected, and a defect detection happens on the same workstation. This can be completely automated, and we have a lot of deployments of visual analytics and IoT combined to give right at the spot whether the product being built or the single flow item is being built on the line is absolutely defect free. So this is one of the very important point, and computer vision models can only be done if you have that kind of an infrastructure where you can have that model inference, find the violations, find the defect in the product, and immediately pinpoint at the same workstation. So this is one of the pioneer, and most of the companies are now adopting these models. Another area where you can optimize using AI is supply chain optimization. We can do the forecast, you can do the demand sensing, and once the demand sensing is proper, you have your inventories vetted, you can find out your optimized routes, how you can get it. Instead, in fact, gone are the days when we used to talk about just in time. Now people are talking about inventory managing on either on wheels, or depending on the need of a workstation, the material is supplied, so that you are not holding the inventory for anything which is, either there is a schedule change, you can quickly intimate to your suppliers what the change has happened and how he can supply or how he can hold that supplies at their end. Or once you know it is on the wheels, you know when it is going to arrive, and then take up the production. So actually what we are talking about, a very, very optimized supply chain optimization, where we are actually controlling our production stoppages or production failures due to reason. Second is robotics and intelligent automation. We are now talking about actually a smart manufacturing. Industry 5.0 is emphasizing today how you can have more smartly built your manufacturing process, how you can have a generative designs integrated with your design and engineering, and apply these robots or complex tasks and have an adaptive learning whether the product which you have designed is passing through, after have passed through the rapid prototyping, how it can be actually produced on the floor. I can go on talking about energy management optimization, process optimization, work and safety optimization. Again, work and safety monitoring. One of the pioneer implementation which we have achieved now is using computer vision models. We do the modeling very fast depending on the videos which we take, and based on the business logic we quickly build an alert, and it can then convert to a broadcast message in an area what is the violations are happening and who is violating what safety norms, and you can then immediately do a corrective action. no more supervising or any kind of a controlling or police control is required, because the technology itself will train the person what is the violation he has done, and next time he is actually cannot do that. He can do the right process and then follow the safety protocols. Of course, product customization and all. I hope in case there is any question, we can stop. Otherwise, we'll take a lot of questions there at the end of it. Let me tell you something about hotspots on finance. Yeah, there is some voice, I believe.
No,
Hello.
Avinash, I was just saying, once this is over, so we'll just ask people to again drop in their questions in the chat box.
Yeah. So let me switch over to something on the finance area. We have mentioned some of the hotspots where we have achieved enormous productivity for our clients, whether it is financial planning and analysis, regulatory reporting and management. There are so many things for every business nowadays. The regulatory reporting becomes very critical. What we can do is the agentic AIs can play a big role in reporting what is required and to which authority it has to be reported. Account receivable and payable, tremendous amount of job has been done in this area, where what we are doing is we are taking out the invoices, which is the hard copy now, automatically get apply the machine learning and OCR technologies, read that, compare with your existing purchase orders in whichever ERP you have, whether it is S4 HANA, Oracle Fusion, Microsoft Dynamics. Even if you have a tally system, it can be integrated and the entire accounts payable can be done in fraction of seconds. When I say that, I say with strong conviction that this has been now being adopted in bulk by most of the organization, and they have gained quite an efficiency in this area. Similarly, on accounts receivable, a lot of follow-ups is being done by the people for account receivable. You can have an agentic AI deployed with the business logic trained to the and looking at the pattern and the machine learning, it will automatically get trained and execute the job and pull out for your account receivable, give your accounts data analytics. Your operational finance accounting can be done. Your accounts and bank reconciliation, another area which is a very pain area. So people have now been deployed the AI in this area for your bank reconciliation. So these are some of the hotspots which can are readily be deployed because we have now built agentic agents after understanding the business of the company, how this can be deployed in your environment. Something on human resources, a very important part, depending on spent analytics and reporting. How do you capture, clean the data, automate, generate the reports, and probably do a pre-polling complex periodic reporting requirements. One very important thing which has come out in onboarding of an applicant, we have developed, I will show you one of the areas there where we now onboarding becomes very simple. You have a JD, our robots can match that JD quickly, parse that potential candidates from various websites, be it a Naukri.com or a LinkedIn or for that matter, any kind of web access, or even whenever if you have received the CVs, you can quickly do that, build up a questionnaire, conduct an interview call, and then assess that and give you a result immediately for which candidates are potential to be hired. So there are so many things which under in human resources one can do, whether it is a travel expense management, position management, or payroll batch import, validation, employee benefit reconciliation. There are so many things. Some of the hotspots in IT, one most challenging part, though you have a large IT infrastructure, but what important is how do you handle your change management, how you handle your cyber security, the incident management, though today we have a lot of ITSM tools, but still it can give only certain kind of a results, but an AI agent can actually help you. What is the incident? What is the remediation? And how it can be handled fast. You can also even train using agentic AI and make the person learn what are the incident and how he can handle it. Now, whether it is an area of testing, whether it is an area of application migration, system management, most of these tasks can now be put to AI and machine learning algorithms, which can handle most of your IT activities, even for the provisioning. Let me touch upon something on contact center. It's a big task. A lot of companies are now moving ahead to introduce digital workers trained like humanoid robots so that they take the questions from the prospective clients and then pass on based on that database. It will answer automatically because the LLM models is being applied and these digital workers on humanoid robots are trained what to answer. In case they are not able to answer, it will pass on to an intelligent person in the organization. And once he responds back, this digital worker or a humanoid robot will take this incident which was not being trained. You can retrain this, and next time if such a question comes, the humanoid robot will able to answer it. So primarily here, what I'm talking about, it can have integration with your CRM, with your ERP, with your other AI engines, other IT applications. Even if you have a third-party tools, you can train the model to pick up that information and respond back to your clients whenever there is a query comes. So ultimately, what we are talking about is reducing the average handling time of a call and resolving the problem of the customer. And end of the day, it gives you an excellent customer experience because without a human involvement, whether the call comes beyond office hours, the humanoid is working 24 by 7, 365 days, and is getting trained also for all the exception conditions or the exception queries which it receives. You have to simply train because your model is built, your compute is built in the infrastructure in the organization, and you can quickly deploy it. So having said that, let me also touch upon something very, very important, the hotspot in the terms of procurement. Either it is a category management or a contract management or a strategic sourcing, all these activities which are repeat in nature and something related to your ERP system, something related to your SRM system, all that can be identified. You can have manage your supplier risk kind of a thing. You will find it your procurement data, how it is being managed, and what is that, how you can pay to your suppliers on a timely basis without involving any human interface. Once the GRN has come and the invoice has come, I talked about, you can quickly put it to a digital worker or a trained AI agent, which will process entirely, do the compute, validate your from your ERP system, whether that item was on order, whether what quantity was on order, if it is within all the business norms, the accounts payable voucher is ready. And then if you say the fund out can happen for the payment side of it. For procurement also to follow up for your supplies, you can build up an agentic AI which will know based on your agreement, scheduling agreement given to the supplier, will pick up that intelligence, interact with your supplier, and ensure that the supplies are being pulled at the time you require. So these are some of the hotspots in this side. I'll show you how companies have actually achieved this. Let me now switch over to an area of NBFC and BFSI. I will like to show you which we have actually deployed in one of the largest NBFC in the country, how we are doing a quality check of your loan amounts which have been actually given to the customers. So the data we have processed somewhere around today, as I speak, it is not 57,000, but we have crossed 100,000 of this records. We are checking the quality of disbursement has happened, whether it was compliant to all the requisites which were there, whether there was a KYC document missing or not, and what is the amount which has been disbursed using completely AI ML backed digital workers, extracting the documents from the field and going through all the handwritten documents, or it is a printed documents, and taking the data extraction part of it, data validation, using a machine learning and processing it. The entire process takes within fraction of seconds. And this company has saved on approximately cost of 33 lakhs for this one small process which they automated using AI and machine learning model. Let me show you similarly for a TDS model, the same way. We are actually here doing what? The TDS certificates are being read, which is being given by the client. It goes to the government portal, which is where they are uploading the TDS. We are extracting the document from there, matching from the manual TDS which have been submitted and whether it is there with the government or not. All matches is done and giving them back this TDS reconciled in less than a minute time. One more thing which I wanted to share here is business loan maker. Let me see if I can play this role. This is a business loan case which we have done for one of the largest embassy, NBFCs, where they are dispersing the loan after matching all the credit risk parameters. And this whole job, earlier it was being done in hours together with almost like 20-25 people involved. This was being done now less than 30 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Today, we're taking a quick look at BL Maker, a smart automation solution built to streamline and enhance business loan document processing using advanced AI technologies. We begin with the Dexter platform, which is used to fetch all loan-related documents. An intelligent digital worker IDW handles this by downloading the relevant data based on the LAN ID and uploading it into a deep learning-based OCR engine. Next, we move to our smart OCR platform, which extracts data from various form categories. That data is then refined by a large language model, LLM, to produce structured key value pairs, which are stored in a centralized database. As soon as files are uploaded, the LLM gets to work, extracting, refining, and even correcting inaccurate data using intelligent models. Once processed, each form category can be viewed individually, page by page. On the left side of the screen, you see the original form. On the right, the validated structured data, accurate and ready to use. The next step is to validate common data between the Dexter and OCR platforms. Here, the IDW uses machine learning algorithms to detect mismatches, highlight discrepancies, and generate a detailed comparison report automatically. All these complex steps, from document fetch to validation, are completed end-to-end in just 30 minutes. By leveraging LLMs, ML, OCR, and AI automation, BL Maker boosts accuracy, eliminates manual work, and ensures faster, more reliable data processing, all in just 30 minutes. Hello, everyone.
So this was just an example how actual implementation has been done. I thought that let me share because this is something, one of the key implementation we are done in this country. Apart from this, I'm just talking about few more things about in the finance area, whether it is a credit risk assessment, a credit assessed, or a real-time loan approval. I've already shown you. Something very important and challenging for every bank or NBFC is a debt collection. Now here we have implemented a complete a model which used AI ML based models, which gives a predictor of repayment probability, whether you are going to get a repayment or not on time, a Gen AI powered outreach and an intelligent email, WhatsApp, voice bots. So in case there is a delay or let's say the timely payment has not come, mails go, WhatsApp go, and a voice bots can go and call the person that your payment is due. So this is all being done by a single agent, not by a human being. And if you look at the right-hand side, this is the complete infrastructure which has been developed using LLM and deep learning, a predictive score. And based on this, we are also building out, though the agent might have a CIBIL score, but with the actual performance, we are building out his credit score. So the business impact is 40% reduction in collection cost, 2x faster recovery cycle, and 35 to 45% lower full-time employee dependency. That means where it was required by, let's say, a batch of 10 or 15 people working for this, a single digital worker a humanoid like a person, which is actually complemented by LLM and deep learning, is doing this job. So this is just an example again on debt recursion. Similarly, we can do a lot of applying machine learning things where we can find out the anomaly and fraud detection. The loan default predictions can be done again using AI and ML, and it is being adopted by most of the banking sectors now. As I talked about few more aspects, one can do a regulatory compliance, a real-time call agent. Let me tell you, share with you something very interesting here, how Gen AI has been used to actually have a personalized and highly targeted marketing content, improving customer engagement and conversion rates. This is something I'm talking about, which has been actually being implemented now. In a natural language conversation, an agent receives a call. It converts this call by using NLP, where it has to be applied to a which particular agent. Now, these are the agents which have been there. Either it is a utility-based agent or a goal-based agent or a model reflex. Any kind of a learning is just passed on to a particular agent. This agent then talks about to your infra, process the processing agent, which have different roles. The LLM models get applied and outcomes can be there. So the data agent could be an unstructured, if it is a mail or a data classification or a document extraction, anything or can be read if provided you have trained that model. And once that model is trained, the agentic AI will really perform all the tasks, even getting into your APIs, website, PDF, any kind of a data sources it is there. It takes that, gets the processing, and gives the results back to the person who has to then interact with the customer, or a query can be answered. Now, all this looks maybe very complex, but this just gets executed in few minutes, because I'm not saying seconds, because it takes time. By the time your algorithm is processed, your data validation has been done, and this agent is equipped with the answer, and it can then give it back to the customer. So you can have a single agent, you can have a multiple agent, you can have a human machine interface, whichever way you want to do it. So let me tell you another is sales growth. Now, this is something kind of a very, very important sales growth levers. Any organization, they have a marketing setup or a digital marketing. You have a CRM, or you have a, some kind of a leads being generated. It can be perceived, it can be planned. You can develop a personalized product suggestion, act on mails, set up meeting, trigger discounts, learn how to improve your feedback, do an upscale cross sell, and then train your agents which are the hot leads need to be pursued. So these are some kind of a thought processes here, but each process would require how you want to train your agent and quickly do your process. Similarly, email response. There are companies now which are applying how to read a mail, what are the attachments, whether their attachments, read the content attachment, go back to the backend system, do the interpretation and pass on this, what need to be done or how to act on this. If the model has been trained, it will automatically give a response back to the client. So few more things, auditing and edit, which I talked about on bank reconciliation. One thing very important which I missed at that time was streamline employee learning onboarding. Let me share with you one of the most, I would say, this product which has been developed by us, by our own team, where we have used a lot of LLM and machine learning model. What it does is automated resume parsing. It can go to various sites, whether it is a Naukri.com or a LinkedIn. It will parse the resumes, match the JD, develop a AI-powered questioning, and then it can be submitted to the potential person who is actually had applied for the job. And then it will give a scoring. And once the scoring is done, it will give the skill and personal assessment. And A complete review can be shared immediately to HR and shortlist the candidate. So some of the hotspots of IT I've already touched, but an agentic AI agents can be done for software installation, application testing, ongoing server application, file management, identity access management, security, event management. I mean, you talked about anything which is there part of your ITMS tool now can be handled by a agentic AI very easily and ensure that all your security patches, your updates are up to date. And in case there is a vulnerability, it can be just reported much before anybody else sense that or some damage has happened in some of the installation. AI in cybersecurity. A lot is being deployed in terms of cybersecurity using machine learning, deep learning, and behavioral analytics. Now, behavioral analytics gives you how to detect, prevent, and respond to cyber threats. More better, more faster. Real-time detection is also happening by using AI in terms of identify the anomalies first in a real-time basis and then act on it and then prevent on it. It depends using, of course, behavioral analysis, again, threat patterns and AI-powered threat intelligence. Here I'm talking about AI agents. Like I talked about, you can build up AI agents like invoice reconciliation agent, document compare agent. You have a lot of documents which can be, which goes into hundreds of pages. So an AI agent can help you to summarize the document, bring out the key aspects out of it, and then act on it. There can be a converse AI agentic layer, which is a natural language, which I just showed you. So many agents, I'm just giving you an example here. It can be tuned very fast depending on your need and then can be deployed, provided you have built a AI framework. That is very, very important. Let me share with you one very burning example. And an example here is, if you look at the screen, there are earlier 9 people working on this. One was the procurement manager who used to get invoice from various sources, be it email, share drive, user vendor request, or if it is lying on S3 bucket in a cloud. And then there is an invoice team, there is an accounts team, there is a supplier, all interacting with an environment which is S4HANA. Now, in this simple, only 3 agents have been deployed and all 9 people have been removed. So the first agent, which is a procurement manager, it talks the data sources, it interacts with the supplier, gets the information, pass on to and collaborate with the invoice PO team, which actually downloads the agent, which is actually now the agent, not the person. It downloads the data from SAP, matches everything from the purchase order and the invoice, gets back to the procurement manager, and through a collaborative, it goes to the accounts payable. And the moment it goes to the account payable, it gets validated with your FICO system in SAP and then release the payment. Now, this whole screen which you see, there is no human element here. It's all the agents which are nothing but agentic AI using a generative AI and key pair values wherever it is required. It trains the model and process the invoice. This implementation has been done no less than a company which is the company in India, which is the second largest company of IT, which is Infosys. And they have saved millions of dollars only handling a non-IT procurement. So one of the examples of how agentic AI is helping. And this company which I talked about is nothing but Infosys. They are now deployed in identity access management, help desk management, event monitoring, application, and reporting. And let me quickly share with you one of the finest deployment of AI in Infosys is that in Infosys they recruit almost like 5,000 to 6,000 employees every month, and these employees are maybe 30% those who are at the fresher, but a lot of employees who join at various levels, maybe at a developer level, maybe at a senior developer, maybe at a consulting level, maybe at a a specialized vertical person joining in that area, maybe BFSI, manufacturing and all. So whenever they join, they have to give in a laptop. Imagine if 500 people joining, providing 500 laptops, they were taking almost like week to 10 days to make a laptop conducive to the role. His mail ID is configured. He has got all the information there. If he's joining in a B5 segment, what all Infosys has done, who are the clients they are handling with, what they have done in the past services, everything has to be given to him so that he doesn't get into an induction program. The day he gets a laptop, he is there. Today, they have deployed these agentic AIs in such a way that HR knows who all are joining the next day. Before that, this complete system is fed to an agentic AI. Overnight, the laptop is prepared, configured with an Infosys image with all the security patches. Next morning, when the employee comes, HR handovers the laptop to him. One of the finest implementation which as an IT company has achieved. So I thought that I'll share with you how they have achieved a one simple task, which was actually a problem within Infosys and used to take a week, 10 days time to get them a complete heads up in that area. That's the greatest achievement of AI. So I've done this, and let me share with you one more, a very use case of one of the large generative maintenance company. They have, the problem here was that they have 100 plus service centers nationwide, thousands of field engineers who are working, and these generators of a various models, generations, different engines, and they had lot of sensors in that and diagnostic complexities. So the field engineer is to go there, spend time, find out that okay, he's not equipped with certain diagnostics. He is to take it back, download this onto their laptop and bring back to the company to do a troubleshooting. What we have done for this company is that we have built up a solution architecture from that. It's a complete two-way process. One is the web mobile and one is the mobile application. So the on-site engineer gets into his mobile, smartly mobile, matches to the learning engine and the visual engine, the data sources he has an access, immediately gets the problem solved back to his mobile, and on-site he can solve the problem in no time. The solution architecture has got a learning model, a visual engine model, the LLM model, and of course, something very important is speech synthesis engine. He can speak about the problem, the machine learning translate it, give back to the company and to the data sources, pull that information, know how to solve the problem and solve the problem on site itself. Now, this methodology is being implemented by one of the generator companies, and they have solved the time to service has reduced drastically. So I just skipping this. So the business outcome has been 25% improvement in first time fix rate, 25% reduction in generated downtime, which is one of the key aspects this company has achieved, again by applying agentic AI. 15% increase in spare part sales because they could now sense what are the spare part requirement, how quickly they can deploy and replace that faulty part on the field itself. And 35% boost in field service engineers because now an engineer can handle more calls compared to what he was handling earlier. And of course, enhance customer experience through faster and more reliable service. Some of the examples I want to share with you, ICICI Prudential Life, you might have heard of it. These guys, they have done 6 automation with 30,000 transactions per day handling and $40,000 they have saved annually on an annual basis. Again, ICICI Bank, 120 process automated using 90 digital worker licenses which has been trained using machine learning and of course LLM models wherever required. 80,000 transactions per day, 24/7, and the saving which has been done only by these one entity process is somewhere around $1.1 million. Some of the things which I want to share, which has been done across geographies, how companies like Hershey, which is the largest chocolate manufacturers in the world, they have done a saving of almost like $50 million in a year purely on productivity. Something more, I would say that Pfizer as a pharma company has done a cost avoidance, not only saving, a cost avoidance of almost like $35 million and a cost saving of $9 million. So I can speak on various outcomes, but end of the day, the moral here is that how you really want to adopt your machine learn, your AI things, and which are the areas you want to apply. So just to sum up, the next generation AI solution, we talk about digital twin technology in manufacturing size, a computer vision models you can develop quickly for your quality control, for your shop floor control, security, safety, any for that matter, anything which you can think of. Today, you might have some cameras, we can quickly do that modeling and give you a very fast solution in terms of using again AI and machine learning model. Supply chain monitoring, I talked about it. Agentic AI, I gave you a couple of examples there. And of course, the process automation I talked about in the finance area somewhere, and in the generative services area I talked about. One thing very important I want to leave a thought here is GPU orchestration. We as a company now have signed up a partnership with NVIDIA. We are one of the first companies in India who've been able to do a orchestration of GPU. When I say orchestration of GPU, let me give an example what I talk about here. I can, with our libraries, slice the GPU. Let's say if you're buying a L40 or an H100 GPU, which is of course like, for example, H100 142 GB. Now you have this available with you as an infra, but the compute need with various stakeholders are less. Maybe somebody requires 10 GB compute, somebody requires 20 GB, somebody requires 40 GB, or it's an idle. So what we can do is, under this GPU orchestration, we can slice the GPU, give only 10 GB to a stakeholder for a time limit for 1 week, 10 days, and then free up this GPU for other compute needs. So what I'm talking about is reusing the same GPU for various use cases. Otherwise, today, once you have bought a GPU, maybe most of the time it's idle. If there are no compute needs, let me talk to you about something when I talk about 24/7. The GPU can even be orchestrated to work on a scheduler basis. From let's say morning 10 to 5 p.m., it is being used by 2-3 stakeholders. Overnight, when there are no users, the GPU can be sliced to carry out various computes in a smaller size and ensuring that it matches the compute need of a process which you have taken for your automation. So that is where we pioneer, I think, and we have a couple of deployments of GPU slicing. Two big deployments we have done in automotive sector. Then, of course, I talked about GI and fleet management. So finally, what I want to leave a thought with you is that I talked about you can achieve 5x, but not looking at efficiency. Today, I'm talking about what is your strategic thinking, how you can do this strategic business modeling enterprise-wide and cover up all your processes strategically so that you can scale up to reach that 5x more business value. With the same set of resources, same set of people, you don't have to augment it, rather redeploy your people in such a way that all the mundane activity and other activities can be taken at by these agentic AIs or digital workers. Your process and journey deliveries with the new value streams. Empower unified workforce. That means you have certain agentic AI, you have a people, build a human robot interface which will handle all your processing needs, compute needs, and bring out a transformation value. So with this, I would like to end my discussion and leave it for any questions you have. Over to you, Neha or Amit.
Yeah, thank you, Avinashji. Thank you so much.
So
So,
I'll just stop sharing and maybe probably take up, can see who all are there, and I can then, speak.
so probably should we unmute people, or we wait everybody to, if anybody has any questions, can just drop into the chat window.
I know I was a little fast enough because I was told that we have only 1 hour of time. So in the paucity of time, I was trying to cover most of the use cases, which will make probably sense to the people.
Yeah, we will share the recording of the session. We have a request from Mr. Rajesh Kumar, so we'll do that. Sure, we'll share the PDF as well. We'll just wait for another 2-3 minutes for people to just drop in their queries.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Murtaza. We can select a specific module and demo can be arranged for a use case.
Yes, definitely. See,
So we
let me clarify also on the demo case. It all depends what the use case is, because for us, when we do a demo, it is for us a complete development of that use case, applying machine learning models and LLM models. So need to understand what module he's talking about.
So I think you can just drop us a mail and then we can take forward the discussion from there. Fine, I think if there are no more questions, then we can wind it up.
Yeah, I think thank you very much, everyone. I think uh, we look forward to hear from you. And I
Yeah.
think
Thanks,
Neha
everyone.
and my team will be in touch with you people.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
There's one question we have, Avinash. Do you have data to show how many projects fail in percentage and reasons?
So I come again, Neha.
Do you have data to show how many projects fail in percentage and reasons?
Okay. I think will be shared, but most of the use cases where we have shown failure was not there from our side. The failure was there from the client side because of readiness in terms of the compute power, either the cloud or on-premise. Most of things were the business stakeholders were not very convinced. The IT team was quite convinced, but business team was not convinced. In some cases, we found that business was ready to adapt, but were waiting for the right infrastructure to be available in their organization. To be very honest, Neha, I haven't come across any failure in terms of if you are a right planning and you have identified the right process, there is no reason why you will fail. Because you are actually building the intelligence behind the process. Once you have understood the intelligence, you are actually automating that intelligence using most of your AI algorithms. So it cannot fail.
Thank you. So the question was from Mr. Amit Kapil. I hope we have answered your query. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you, everyone. So after this, we will share a feedback form. I request you all to please fill it up and
Thank you,
send it back
Amit. I
to.
think we will stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
It was
everyone.
nice
Thanks a
interaction
lot.
with you, and look forward to discuss more one-on-one. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Avinash. Thanks, Amit. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.